Hello, my name is Matthew Lunsford. Today we're going to be discussing Chapter 4 of Skinner about behaviorism on apparent behavior. I like to think of behavior as a mathematical function where A represents the behavioral antecedent, E represents the environmental factor or the environment in general, SR plus is positive reinforcement, SR negative is a negative reinforcement, SP plus is positive reinforcement, and SP negative is negative reinforcement. As you can see, f of B equals A, the antecedent, plus the environmental factor, plus the positive reinforcement, or the negative reinforcement, or the positive punishment, or the negative punishment. Feelings of reinforcers. Positive or emotional feelings of reinforcers are rejected in behaviorism. Skinner thought of reinforcers as being evolutionarily advantageous, things that are going to help us survive and carry on new behaviors that are going to enhance the human race. Anything we consider to be feelings are nothing more than physiological reactions, such as flinching or yelping when one is kicked in the shin by a preschool student, or when one places their hand on a hot stove. The idea of wanting, needing, and wishing. The idea of wanting, needing, and wishing can all be traced back to the same linguistic root, according to Skinner. Each of these verbs can be rephrased to express the idea of lacking something from the environment, or it can be rephrased as the idea of a stimulus being pleasing to the individual. Having an idea and the concept of will. As we know, the environment affects behavior. Certain environmental stimuli will increase the chance of behavior occurring. This idea of will, the idea that someone will do something, is nothing but an increased likelihood that a behavior will occur based on environmental stimuli and the reinforcements and punishments that have occurred on the individual. Having a purpose and having intention. The idea of having a purpose and intention can be broken down to the idea of the person is doing X, so that Y will happen. For example, if someone is in a weightlifting competition, it's likely that they would work out in order to increase the probability of winning the competition. In this case, the intention is to win. The purpose of working out is to fulfill that intention. It's not that humans want to do something. It's that they are doing something based on the environment and thus doing something else to increase the likelihood that they will obtain the original goal, if you will, from the environment that they originally set out to do. Schedules of reinforcement. Positive feelings such as confidence arise from repeated successful trials, since the trial is acting as a positive reinforcement. For example, I'm a violinist. When I successfully play a song, the behavior of me playing the song correctly is positively enforced. But when I make mistakes, these act as negative reinforcement and I become frustrated. The repetition of playing a song correctly dissipates the feelings of frustration. This can also be applied to pretty much anything, including someone's classroom. When students are learning, let's say doing a math worksheet, when they get the math questions correct, that is reinforcing their knowledge that they're doing the questions correctly. As they get more questions correct, that's going to reinforce the process that they use to arrive at the correct answer. This will carry over into exams and other applications of mathematics. Negative stimuli and punishment. Punishment is not the same as negative reinforcement. Punishment can be thought of as introducing another stimulus to combat adverse behavior, such as crime. In my classroom, my ASD students, which is autism spectrum disorder, often have a favorite toy or favorite something that they enjoy. One punishment for them might be to take away the toy until the undesirable behavior is reduced or becomes extinct. As we saw in Skinner, this also applies to social institutions such as the church, introducing the idea of sin. When someone has sinned, that acts as a punishment on behavior that is undesirable to the social institution. Same can be said for crime. When someone is put in jail, that is punishing the negative behavior, whether that be theft, murder, or anything along those lines. The longer that someone is punished, the more that is acting as a reinforcer for the negative behavior to try to reduce it or get it to become extinct. Structuralism. Structuralism is a rather complicated concept, but it essentially states that how humans live can be traced back to a larger, overarching cultural system. As you can see in this diagram, we have a main belief. That main belief spreads out to culture X and culture Y. From culture X, we can break it down to cultural practice A, then cultural practice B. And we look at culture Y, we can see it broken down to cultural practice C. Technically speaking, behaviorism isn't structuralism, since behaviorism operates on the topography of behavior. Since it does not examine things like thoughts and feelings. It replaces thoughts and feelings with environment and environmental stimuli and reinforcers. However, it's still important to understand structuralism so that related disciplines can be analyzed and understood. The mind. As we've seen before, behaviorism rejects the idea of mentalism. Once again, mentalism is the idea of cognitions, or that people have thoughts, and that their behavior can be analyzed by these psychological processes. Behaviorism thinks of the mind as a physiological reaction of the body to stimuli, but physiological reaction of the nervous system during anxiety, not emotions of anxiety or feelings of anxiety in the cognitive viewpoint. For example, if someone were being chased by a bear, the so-called mind would activate the muscular system, assume it's having conditioned to run away from bear attacks from an evolutionary standpoint based on reinforcement. The people that have survived bear attacks back in ancient times have passed on that reinforced behavior to modern humans. We know that if we're attacked by a bear, our muscular system will kick in and we will run to save our lives. This is in contrast to the mentalistic concepts of so-called feeling like doing something or having emotions of, say, fear during a bear attack, or so-called feeling like running during a bear attack. Now, this brings us to our question for discussion. As we've seen, behaviorism stipulates that the mind is just physiological reactions to stimuli. How could we ethically apply these concepts to ABA therapy, or behavior-based therapies in general, to help our patients? Personally, I see this is walking a very thin ethical line, since some patients might see it as torture, especially patients that have autism. How can we ethically apply these concepts to ABA therapy when working with autistic children to increase their functioning and their ability to live in society? Here's my reference, Skinner, about behaviorism. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to this presentation. Hope we'll be able to have a good discussion. I'll be checking in periodically and responding. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.